so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you got to do that.
Boy, stop lying.
When Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit against Diddy on November 16, 2023, accusing him of trafficking and various forms of assault, Diddy and his lawyers settled the lawsuit a day later. His attorney stated, "A decision to settle a lawsuit, especially in 2023, is in no way an admission of wrongdoing."
Shut your lying ass up.
Although many people believed every single allegation that Cassie brought against him, others said they needed proof. And well, that proof was provided when CNN released surveillance footage compiled from multiple camera angles dated March 5, 2016. The actions in the video align with one of the acts of violence that Cassie detailed in her November 2023 lawsuit against him. With the video making the rounds on the internet, Diddy fired up his Instagram to issue a statement. But was he being genuine? Not exactly. According to a body language expert, today we'll be discussing the aftermath of the shocking video, as well as Diddy's statement, and what might be coming down the pipeline for the disgraced hip-hop mogul. Before we jump into this hot, stinking mess, you're definitely going to need something to munch on for this one. So head on over to rrgsnacks.com, our online concession stand that has an assortment of applewood smoked bacon jerky, blue raspberry licorice, and gummy sour peach rings.
Ooh, honey, I love me some sour peach rings. I put them in my margarita. Yes, girl, all that tequila gets swallowed up in them sour peach rings.
In Diddy's video statement, he said he's not going to make excuses for his appalling behavior. However, an expert in nonverbal communication named Judy James told the Mirror website that his social media apology set the stage for Diddy to cast himself as the victim. Now, let's take a look at the first few seconds of the video, shall we?
Roll that beautiful bean footage. See what the hell he talking about.
I was f***ed up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it, I'm disgusted now.
As you can see, Diddy's speech is slow and his tone is lowered. His face appears long and droopy as he sits with his shoulders slightly hunched over.
The Hunchback of New York.
At one point, he expresses remorse for reaching a low point and emphasizes he takes responsibility without offering any justification.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that.
Judy told the Mirror website, his choice of wording during this soliloquy sounds telling. Swerving the use of the personal I over ownership and confession, he generalizes with a you, which makes his lines about the darkest times in your life and sometimes you got to do that imply that his behavior was the kind of thing we've all been guilty of at some point in our lives. The expert went on to say that Diddy looks to the side and shakes his head no when stating he was up.
I was f***ed up.
He then catches himself and starts to nod his head yes when he discusses how he hit rock bottom.
I hit rock bottom.
Now, in our culture, shaking one's head up and down means yes, and from side to side means no. Tracy Brown, the author of a book on how to detect lies, told Meetings Convention's website, people subconsciously accent things with their heads all the time, and the head is more trustworthy than the mouth. Now, Auntie Regina, roll that clip one more time.
Okay, girl, here you go.
I was f***ed up. I hit rock bottom.
There's another moment when he's shaking his head no as he explains how he's taking full responsibility for his actions.
I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Body language experts agree that this is a sign that he's being deceitful. He's not sorry, and he doesn't take full responsibility for anything.
I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab.
In the end, nonverbal experts believe that Diddy's statement is simply an attempt for him to garner sympathy. When Diddy reveals that he went to therapy, it also appears to make him look like the one who suffered the most after the incident. In his speech, he references God.
I had to ask God for his mercy and grace
God said, now why am I in it?
The word sorry is only used twice throughout the entire video, yet many people notice that he carelessly neglected to mention the name of the intended recipient of his apology. TMZ later revealed that after reaching a settlement with Cassie the day after she filed her lawsuit, the settlement included a very strict NDA that prevents both of them from speaking about each other in public. The body language expert assumed the apology was actually directed toward Diddy's supporters instead of Cassie. At this point, it seems almost certain that whoever is advising Diddy during this time has relayed to him how crucial it is for him to have the court of public opinion on his side. And one way to do that is to apologize for the countless supporters that he let down. Because in the end, having the public accept his apology gives him a greater chance of holding on to whatever piece of his career is left and the future opportunities that he might want to explore in the industry.
I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Cassie's attorney released a statement saying Diddy's most recent video is more about himself than about the many people he has hurt. The lawyer added, when Cassie and multiple other women came forward, he denied everything and suggested that his victims were looking for a payday, that he was only compelled to apologize once his repeated denials were proven false shows his pathetic desperation, and no one will be swayed by his disingenuous words. His apology video wasn't well received by online users either. One social media user wrote, "Not accepted. We're just doing it because you got caught. I am so sorry for your children, particularly your daughters that love you." Then came those who expressed doubt about everything Diddy has said thus far, especially since he went from denying the allegations to admitting guilt. It took a surveillance video for Diddy to be held accountable, finally. This makes people wonder what other evidence will be uncovered that gives the public a front row seat to his crimes against Cassie and potentially others. Diddy has already denied that the allegations from the 5 other civil suits filed against him following Cassie's were lies. The plaintiffs were motivated by financial gain and public notoriety. Following the release of the video, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office issued a statement saying it was aware of the video. They added that since the event occurred in 2016, they were unable to charge him, as it occurred beyond the timeline where a crime of assault can be prosecuted. However, they encouraged anyone who has been a victim or witness to a crime to report it to law enforcement. For many, it appears that the DA's office is encouraging victims to come forward with their experiences so that Diddy can be taken off the streets once and for all. For now, though he looked solemn in his apology video, TMZ captured him out and about in Miami, smoking a cigar while on a stroll with some friends. While he may be free and living his best life for now, the tide has really turned for the most part. The video corroborated Cassie's allegations, and many people believe it won't be long before he faces criminal charges. Unsurprisingly, there are still countless people who support him, but in their attempt to extend him some grace, some have resorted to the tactic of victim blaming. Victim blaming is any response that explicitly states or implies that the victim is to blame for the abuse they have experienced. Victim blaming often revolves around actions that a victim could have taken to avoid experiencing abuse, such as, why didn't she leave him before?
Why did she stay with him for years afterwards?
Why didn't she call the police?
She was old enough to know better.
That's what she gets for leaving Ryan Leslie for Diddy.
I would have him and his knock knees up. Why she didn't fight back?
In reality, violence and abuse will happen regardless of the victim's choices. Whether intentional or unintentional, victim blaming can cause serious harm to survivors of domestic abuse and increase feelings of shame and guilt. It can also discourage other victims from stepping forward with their stories. Blaming victims for their own abuse is never acceptable. Many celebrities have gone on record to vocalize their support and send love to Cassie, since she's the one who now has to relive the act of violence and any other incidents that she's trying to heal from. Her husband, Alex Fine, took to his social media with a very important message. The statement reads, "Men who hit women aren't men. Men who enable it and protect those people aren't men. Hold the women in your life with the utmost regard. Men who hurt women hate women."